Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Iman and today I'll be talking about socially assistive robots. So, when I say socially assistive robots, what comes to your mind? So, socially assistive robots are robotic technology with audio, visual, and movement capabilities that are being developed to interact with individuals socially while also assisting them with management of their physical and psychological well being. So, technology assisted clinical interventions are more and more common in the healthcare field, usually with the aim to improve access to and cost effectiveness of care. So, the current technology platforms delivering interventions are mostly like cell phone apps, online websites, although efforts have been made to create more personalized technology experiences, such as like robots and stuff. So, to extend and improve on these platforms, the field of robotics has been increasingly included in conversations on how to deliver technology assisted, interactive, and responsive mental health and psychological well being interventions. Alright, don't worry, guys, I'm not going to go into too much detail. So, the picture you see here is Kismet. She is a robot head made in the late 1990s at MIT by Dr. Cynthia Breazeal. It was an experiment in affective computing. So, this was a machine that could recognize and simulate emotions. So, this was the first robot created to interact with people and not things because in the past there were a lot of robots created that interacted with things, like robots that went to space, but there was never any robots created that interacted with humans. So, a little fun fact, the name Kismet comes from a Turkish word meaning fate or sometimes luck. Now, I'll just show you guys a short clip of Kismet interacting with a scientist.
Dude, I want to show you something. This is a watch that my girlfriend gave me. Yeah, look, it's got a little blue light in it too. I almost lost it this week.
As you guys saw in the video, she interacted with people like a nonverbal child or like a pre-verbal child. So at the time, it was really amazing to see because it was the first of its kind. After several years of work, the Media Lab at MIT explored and created a new robot called Leonardo. This is Leonardo, and he learned just like humans, as you will see in the next short clip.
Can you find Cookie Monster? Leo, Cookie Monster is very bad. He's very bad, Leo.
These robots that you just saw were developed in late 90s, early 2000s, so the technology is obviously more advanced now. During the past decade, a number of social robots with the ability to interact were investigated. So, there are a number of ways in which a social robot can interact with a person, with them being typically classified as contact assistive, socially interactive, or socially assistive robots. So, firstly, there is contact assistive robotics, which is when robots provide assistance to people through physical contact. An example of this type of robot is when an individual is going through some type of physical rehab, as demonstrated in the first picture at the top, you can see. And then there is social interactive robotics, which includes entertainment through social interactions. An example of this can be like robots present at an old age home who just entertain the people there. As I mentioned before, socially assistive robots are robotic technology that can include audio, visual, and movement capabilities that are developed to interact with individuals socially while also helping them with management of their physical and psychological well-being. So, socially assistive robots, they can help therapists, caregivers in the teaching of skills, and that can combine the use of virtual reality, computer, artificial intelligence, and video interventions. This little diagram basically sums up the different robot models that I just talked about. So essentially, socially assistive robotics is the ultimate robot. It takes components from both assistive robotics and socially interactive robotics to create a better version. So it includes physical interaction components as well as affective bonds. Now we will be talking about socially assistive robotics used in everyday life. In the past decade, the use of socially assistive robots are gaining or have gained attention in the treatment and diagnosis of individuals with autism. And research focusing on these social assistive robot technologies for autism treatment have commonly presented an increase in user engagement, enhanced user attention levels, and improvement in social skills. So, there's also a number of studies that were done that suggest that children with autism can actually be more comfortable interacting with robots. This might be because the robot's behavior and reactions are more consistent and therefore more predictable than that of humans. With the increase in rates of individuals diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, there is also an increasing need for equitable and accessible applied behavior analysis therapy services. So, current barriers for sufficient access to therapy include high administration burden, burnout rates on the part of some therapists, and affordability of services. One way to reduce this burden is to automate procedures using computer based interventions, including these robots. So, as I just mentioned, these robots have the potential to increase client engagement while at the same time making it possible for therapists to provide a more interactive sessions for their client. So now we're going to watch a little video of Kiwi, which is actually a socially assistive robot who works with children with autism.
Meet Adrian, age 6,
This is some great work.
and his robot friend, Kiwi.
You are doing an amazing job.
On this weekend morning, they've settled in to play some games, along with Big Brother Darren. Adrian is on the autism spectrum, and Kiwi is no toy. It's a socially assistive robot.
You are doing really great. Keep up the good work.
Social assistive robotics is a new field that we actually founded about 15 years ago, based on the ability of robots to help people. Many children on the autism spectrum can respond positively to robots, and in fact can be motivated and learn social skills.
With support from the National Science Foundation, roboticist Maya Matarik and a team are building and programming these unique robots in their lab at the University of Southern California. They even worked with a puppeteer to design its look. It's part of a first-of-its-kind field study designed to see how children like Adrian would benefit from having a socially assistive robot in the home.
This is truly above and beyond.
Next, let's talk about socially assistive robots and dementia care. So, innovative solutions for dementia care are required to address the rise in adults living with dementia, the lack of adequate staffing to provide high quality dementia care, and the need for family caregivers to provide care for their loved ones in their home. So, socially assistive robots can offer support as therapists, companions, and educators for people living with dementia, which actually brings me to an example. So, the example I'm going to give you is Zora. So, this is Zora. I'm talking about the robot, not the cute woman. So, it doesn't look like much, like it looks like a cute toy, but this robot was actually at the center of an experiment in France. It was a hospital that cared for elderly patients, and when Zora arrived at this nursing facility, it's basically like an hour close to Paris somewhere. A strange thing began happening, and that was that many patients they developed an emotional attachment. They treated Zora like a baby. They were holding it, cooing it, giving it kisses on the head. So patients at the hospital called joueurs. So a lot of them have dementia and other conditions that require round the clock care. And Zora also often leads exercises and plays games. Actually, in Australia, there was a hospital using a Zora robot, and they conducted a study of the effects on patients and staff. And researchers found that it improved the mood of some patients and it got them more involved in activities. Zorobots is actually a Belgium-based provider of the robots, and they provided these robots to like the Australia example I just gave you, and also at that nursing home in near Paris. So they said that they've sold over 1,000 robots to healthcare facilities all around the world. That includes the United States, Middle East, Asia, and it is part of a growing emphasis on robotics focused on care. So similarly to dementia care, socially assistive robots would be useful for Alzheimer's disease and disease related dementias. So it's currently a work in process, and there is a lot of organizations that target the development of different types of socially assistive robots that would function as companion robots to providing psychosocial support. So that would include enhancing mood, like decreasing loneliness, enhancing social connection and communication. It would also involve physiological interventions such as stress reduction or other forms of behavior therapy, and also assistance with care management and activities of daily living. So, this is a work in progress in nearly every country. The population of older adults is actually rising, and the number of people over the age of 60 will actually double to 2.1 billion by 2050. That is according to the United Nations. To conclude, I would like to say that socially assistive robots are the future. There's going to be so much more to come in the coming years with more improvements, development. While there are concerns for machines replacing people in the workplace, I believe that there are more advantages. This new technology will definitely make a difference in most, if not every field of medicine, like you guys saw today, in the autism spectrum disorder, dementia care, Alzheimer's. So, in the future, I don't think there will be enough people for the required healthcare jobs, and new technology should be created to help fill the void. The work that socially assistive robots are doing is amazing, and in the future, it's only going to get better. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.